On the highway toward Ashkelon, just north of the Gaza Strip, the Israeli city, the target of so many Hamas rocket attacks the past 5 days, warning sirens soon blare.
Okay, let's get out.
Everyone pulls over, races out of their cars, and takes cover in the ditch as the sirens continue. But the rockets strike elsewhere. Inside the city, we headed toward where one of the rockets found its target. An apartment block, now blasted. Then, more incoming fire. This time, Israel's Iron Dome defense system stops them.
Yes.
A miracle, this man told us later, holding a piece of shrapnel, that no one was killed in the earlier strike. We never started this war, he tells us. They butchered civilians, innocent people. We need the world to help us stop the terrorists. The rockets have shaken people here, still reeling from the brutal Hamas attacks that opened the war. Now, the near constant threats to everyone. As well, fresh images after the massacres on the weekend have emerged. This is the small community of Be'eri, east of Gaza, where witnesses describe another near unimaginable slaughter by Hamas. Meanwhile, inside Gaza, emergency workers console each other over the deaths of their colleagues killed in an Israeli airstrike. And the now overrun Al-Shifa hospital is also being used as a shelter. The Israelis hit us with no warning, says this man. There is no safe place. We will stay here. As in Israel, the deaths in Gaza are in the many hundreds and counting, including, say Palestinian authorities, more than 300 children. The retaliatory Israeli airstrikes target what Israel says are Hamas strongholds. The territory of more than 2 million is now cut off from fresh water, food, fuel, electricity, and medicine by an Israeli blockade. And its last functioning power plant is now out of fuel. Back in Israel, with word of a war cabinet now to oversee the Israeli response to Hamas, military equipment and near countless reservists stand by for whatever comes next. A ground assault remains the expectation, even as an estimated 150 hostages are being held by Hamas somewhere in Gaza. And at that apartment block in Ashkelon, the suddenly homeless prepare to flee. I can't put words together, he says. It's so upsetting. I just have to run with my children to the first place that can take us.
So, Paul, I want to go back to something you mentioned there. This is the possible Israeli ground assault into Gaza.
Yeah, well, you heard the words of Benjamin Netanyahu today. Add to that all those tanks and military vehicles and the 360,000 reservists called up. And, you know, it's Netanyahu's call at the end of the day, but it certainly feels imminent.
Paul, thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.